What's up, pedal board people? My buddy Martin from Adam Hall dropped me off a whole bunch of Palmer stuff, pedal board stuff. And I haven't unboxed it. We're gonna check it out. We're gonna put a board together, see if we've got any hiss, hum, bum, eek sounds, whatever. And if we don't, it's good. So Palmer makes some really cool, very affordable pedal boards and power supplies and other stuff too, but we're focusing on that stuff. So on the table right here, look at Leslie actually has an extra camera for that. I actually have the Backpack 4000. I also have the 8000, which is cool. You charge it up and oops. And then you've got two 500 milliamp outputs. I think they are. Two 500 milliamp outputs and then a USB with 1 amp. And it's a battery. And you can also use it as a USB power bank. And also, again, with the 8000 more power. I use that to do things when I'm around the studio. I just throw an AB switch on the floor, or I quickly need a delay over there, and I don't want to, have an extra outlet, whatever. Quickly throw that on the floor. It lasts for quite a while with a simple pedal. Don't put too many pedals on there. Don't put too many digital pedals on there. You're gonna get trouble. All these battery things are not really isolated in the way to run a full pedal board. But as a quick solution for 1 or 2 pedals, this is pretty damn good. So we're gonna look at what's in the box. One thing that's in the box, if Leslie can show us that in the back camera actually, is a hole right there. Can you see the hole? That's Zaphod having fun with the box while Leslie watched him destroy it. And then saying to him, hey, Daddy might need that box. But not stopping him from destroying the box, so the cat ate the box. So, what do we have here? I don't even know. We have the PWT8. PWT8, Universal Power Supply. Let's look at that. And as we do, I'm going to call up pricing at Thomann. Links below, by the way. Please use them. So in here is the actual power supply. Ooh, that's very light and that's very small. So that is probably a switching power supply. 2 outs with 9, 12, and 18. Switchable, I guess. No idea how. And, so A and B are 9, 12, or 18. Which you select back here. And they're isolated from all the other ones. But the other ones are not isolated. So you got 3 isolated groups. It's got a red and green LED to show you if it's overloaded probably or something like that. There's of course a manual which we will obviously read. And in here is power supply for it. It's an external power supply. And then all the cables you need. So that's $95, which is very inexpensive for a power supply. And it's very light. It's got screw holes here and on the sides. Very cool. Now we have the PWT12 Mark II. That's $139. I really like how this stuff is packaged. Look, comes in individual boxes, adapter, cables, and then the actual product. 8 outputs times 300 milliamps. And then 4 with 500 milliamps, which are selectable from 6 to 18 volts. Nice. Nice, huh? That's 12 outs. Some selectable. I mean, I never really use anything other than 9, but it can do it. And it is very light. $139. Can't really bitch about that. 2 more products. We have a Purifier. That sounds like some cologne. The Palmer Purifier. Really beautiful boxing. Isn't that neat? It's a passive little box that makes your voltage, something, electricity, I know nothing about that stuff, more pure. If you got some kind of hum or buzzy or whatever problem, it's a DC voltage cleaner from 5 to 30 volts DC. So you could put that under your board. It's got 6 holes for screws, input and output, and looks like this. Purifier. Comes with a cable.
Is there a steaming pile of poop on there?
Actually, Leslie called the poop. Leslie's like, is there a steaming pile of poop on there? And yes, steaming pile of poop turns into a diamond. Someone at Palmer has our sense of humor, Leslie. $22. It's literally something you probably should just have lying around in case you have problems. Awesome. Palmer Pedal Bay 40, which you might say, wait a second, doesn't that look a lot like the Harley Benton, what are they called, spaceship? Doesn't it look a lot like the Harley Benton boards? Yes. These came first. So we know Harley Benton kind of gets inspired by other brands. They do. They get inspired like the Chinese get inspired by other brands. They have come into their own. Harley Benton has, original things now, but they got inspired a lot. So they got inspired by Palmer. A case. No hard case, but that's okay. Velcro gel packs, which you can eat, that makes you not sick. It kills the corona. Don't eat them. Pretty lightweight board. Very lightweight board. So instead of having full rails here in a certain angle, you can actually change the angle yourself by changing the screw length somehow. And then this angles. So this sits on the floor like this. Why not? Works. How does this attach? I'm gonna go with this attaches with rubber, and you're good. Or you screw it in somehow. But, well, that's how that could work. But this is the typical use your own power supply solution. Palmer's got a better solution. Let's look at it. It's the PWT PB40. First of all, we look at the pedal bay. Pedal bay, this is the 40. Of course, they sent me the smallest one. They didn't actually send it. They just actually dropped it off in person. They're right around the corner from me. $57 for the board, including a bag. Possibly one of the cheapest boards you can buy. QC pass. I like that. It's Bing QC. Cables, adapter, Velcro straps, and nuts. What is this contraption? How is this a power supply? So WT PB40, we're gonna look at price. It's €129. Okay. And this is the power supply. This replaces the whole last rail in here. And then your power supply is invisible on your pedal board because it became the last rail on your Palmer pedal board. There's Velcro. We're gonna have to see how to install this. There's Velcro to put on top of here, so it literally becomes invisible. This is, I don't know what this is. We'll find out. But this becomes the whole last rail of your pedal board. You replace this, and then your power supply is built in. Now, that is awesome. We're gonna look at the features here. We have 91218 500 milliamp, 91218 500 milliamp, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outputs. And another 12 volt 2 amp output. Interesting. On and off switch. It looks like it's very similar to the PWT8 in terms of power and functionality. That's right at the back of your pedal board. Quite a bit of power. And even a big ass 12 volt out for your big ass pedals. $129. Not too shabby. So the next step will be a montage of me montaging this. It'll be a montage of me installing this to the actual board. And that's it. And then we're going to populate the board with some pedals and see if we get any issues with this, because it might look nice, but it's got to work. It's a cool idea. Plus, that the Harley Benton boards are kind of a ripoff of the Palmer, and they're exactly the same. You can use the Palmer PWT PB40 something on the Harley Benton boards. So if you have a Harley Benton board, you can use this. Harley Benton doesn't have this. You can buy the Palmer WT PB40 multi-power supply for €129 and install it on your Harley Benton board if you have the one that's a 40 board. For the longer one, you're shit out of luck. But I think Palmer's working on a longer one as well. I've been working on a longer one. No. Okay. Let's go back to me, and then back to me, and then back to me again. But that's another day. We're done for today. So, here we are now, is what Kurt Cobain said at some point. Palmer Pedal Bay 40, I installed everything. You saw it, you heard it. I did not install it on the very top because I figured out you don't have to. So I'm taking this out of here. It's an 8-pedal board, and these are power-hungry pedals. The blooper from Jay's Place wants some serious power. And I made sure that I use several digital pedals, because usually when you have a bad power supply, combinations of digital pedals on unisolated power supplies or non-isolated power supplies cause high beep, and can really cause problems. I threw everything I had at this thing. Digital, 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 digital. 4 digital, 4 analog pedals, willy-nilly mixed around on the power outputs, no problem whatsoever. When I had the compressor on and both overdrives and I didn't play, there's no gate on it, I was amazed how quiet it was. It shouldn't have been that quiet, but it is. So this works. I'm very skeptical when it comes to power supplies. I usually go to my favorites, which are very high priced, but this works. So props to Palmer and Adam Hall for nailing this and making it invisible. Because look at this. Where is it? Where is it? You don't know. So it's right here. And I did this so that the power plugs don't stick out on top. Because when you put it on the very last one, they do stick out. But for that, we have this bar, which then goes right here. Okay. And then kind of hangs like this and makes your pedal board longer, but protects the plugs. Now, this is cool, and they thought this through, but it isn't really necessary. Because you can put it in the second row, which to me makes a lot more sense because then it's completely gone. And installing it in the second row really is just 2 screws. Installing it up here means you have to take the feet off and add screws to the feet. It's about 30 seconds more work. But you can see this is the one that I took out, which you now have extra, super light. And here's the cool thing. You can actually put more of them in there. Yeah, you could have 2 rows of power supply. You would never know from the top. You have no idea. See, you have no idea. And you would only still use one of their power supplies because over here, there's a 12-volt in with 2 amps. And then there's a 12-volt out with 2 amps. And we're like, what is that for? Well, of course, you could power 12-volt pedals, but you can take that, chain it, or cascade it into the next power bar, and then you actually have, what do we have, 16 outputs. So that would give you 4 500 milliamp outputs, and that would give you 4 500 milliamp outputs and 12 300 milliamp outputs. Awesome. So, cascadable. Even with the pedals, rather lightweight board. It's quiet, it powers the pedals. You have no trouble attaching the power supply, which is always a pain in the ass. It's rock solid. And it just works. So, Palmer Pedal Bay, you can get this already as a package. I got them separately. But as a package, €185. Or the contest that's running right now, the 6 feet apart contest, you can win one of these. But this might be, you might be watching this years from now, so forget what I just said. $185 for a board and a power supply? And a bag. Comes in the bag too. I know I'm getting paid for this. So take this with a grain of salt, or don't, or just believe me. I literally can't see a fault in this. I don't know what's wrong with it. It works. There's no hum. There's no buzz. There's no high feeping. I have demanding pedals on it. It's light. It comes in a bag. It hides away. And if you need more power, you can cascade it. The next thing that I would want is a bigger board. But for that, they have to redesign the power supply, which I think they're on it. So you can probably, this is the 40, at some point get the 60 and 80 as well. Also, again, I have to say this, you can, if you have the Harley Benton spaceship, you can get that power bar and use it for all the Harley Benton boards, which is probably good news for all the Harley Benton pedal board owners. Thank you, Palmer. Thank you, Adam Hall, for commissioning this video. I was skeptical, but I'm convinced it's good. I'll put links below. Thank you for watching this, and we'll also put animals at the end.
My way, I left the path I went astray, but I could have become someday. Father, have I lost my